But then we had an experience of an English nanny who said there was no place for the children to play and for her to promenade the pram. We pulled it up, and then we had much more fun here on the lawn. Nowadays, actually, the gardens are totally different in design. People think much more that you don't need so much water. But my opinion is that they're making gardens which look a little bit like if we were in the desert of Arizona.
But I guess the climate here is quite like the desert in Arizona.
Absolutely.
And what do you think this garden will look like in 50, 60 years' time?
I hate to think about it. I mean, everything is going to change tremendously and drastically, too.
Although the climate of central Spain has always been severe, it's recently had one of its worst ever droughts, and that was followed by serious flooding. And Piru's traditional garden, which perfectly illustrates how the Spanish garden has developed over the last 60 years, will become increasingly difficult to maintain. This has been interesting because it does add another piece to the jigsaw. You've got all these different influences. There's French, there's the English nanny, which has created the lawn, there's the Moorish influence from the water and the courtyards. But it feels to me very Spanish. And I think that's because of the way that it's used. The division between house and garden is so loose as to almost not be there. It's, in its curious way, despite its grandeur, it's homely. Modern Madrid is a busy, bustling capital city. But until Philip II based his royal court here in the 16th century, it was a relatively small town. But Philip created parks and gardens, and the modern city remains full of superb green spaces, both public and private. I've come straight to El Retiro. This is a huge park in the middle of the city. It started life as a private royal pleasure ground in the 17th century. But today it is open to all and is extremely popular, not least for its superb hedge-lined woodland walks. It also has some more formal spaces, like these avenues of immaculately clipped parterres. At the beginning of the 19th century, during the Peninsular War, Napoleonic soldiers used the Retiro as their barracks, and apparently in the process completely destroyed it. And then, in 1830, it was rebuilt and replanted. And in the 1860s, one of the first public parks in Europe to be open to anybody who wanted to come and use it. And ever since then, it has been used as a green lung by the people of Madrid. Close to the Retiro, the Paseo del Prado, one of Madrid's main boulevards, was Europe's first tree-lined urban promenade, running through the city, north to south. Situated on this central avenue is a branch of a well-known Spanish bank. The building is modern, and when it was first built in the 1970s, was an example of radically contemporary office architecture. But something even more radical lay inside the building. At the back of the offices, in a void between the bank and the adjoining building, is a garden that rises up and cascades down 8 floors. It was created in 1975 as an integral part of the building and was the first of its kind in Madrid. The design